Hey guys, Femis here for take two, because my first attempt was absolutely terrible, of tips for new gold farmers by a new gold farmer. Here I am, just farming for a mount for the Tempest Keep. Alright, so guys, I'm just going to get straight into this. I'm not going to mess around and try and explain in too much depth, because I'm pretty sure you'll know what it is I'm trying to do. Gold farming isn't easy. Let's just get that straight off the bat. It's not easy because it gets repetitive, it gets annoying, it gets boring. But hopefully, with these 5 tips, these 5 simple tips, you can realise just how fun it can be if you manage to do it. So, here's tip number 1. This I think is probably one of the most important ones, which is why I'm throwing it out there first. Tip number 1, vary your farms. And what do I mean by vary your farms? Don't do the same thing over and over again. It's common sense. If you do the same thing over and over again, day in, day out, no matter what you do, you're going to get bored and you're going to give up. So, how do I vary my farms? Well, what I do is I will do, whilst I'm back in work and working during the week, I will do, say, a weekend of one thing, a weekend of another thing, or maybe even one day of that weekend on one, or one day of that weekend on another. So I'll do things like farm for mounts on one day, farm for mats on another, farm for pets on another day, on another weekend, another day, on an evening when I've got nothing to do. So no matter what I do, no 2 farm days are ever going to be the same for me. And that's pretty much all you can do. I mean, eventually you're going to get to the point where you're in a rhythm and you're repeating things over and over, and it can get a bit tedious, a bit boring. But nothing that is ever worth it comes easily, you know? So stick with it and it'll be great. Tip number 2. Never ever vendor greens. Now, I know a lot of gold farmers that vendor greens because they think, why bother? I mean, unless they're worth something on the auction house, it's pointless having them. But I disagree with that theory. I think that if you're going to sell everything, why not disenchant the stuff you're vendoring and then sell it for a little bit more on the auction house? Yeah, it might be worth a bit more. You can always make more money from those mats than you really are going to vendor, because that green might only be worth 3 gold, but you may disenchant it for a mat that's worth a little bit more. So there's my tip number 2, and I think that's pretty much why I'm making a little bit more money than I expected to be making at this point in my attempts at gold farming. Tip number 3. Now, tip number 3, even though I said tip number 1 was important, I think tip number 3 is always going to be the most important, because let's remember, at the end of the day, this is a game. A lot of people take this game very seriously, yes I know, but this is still a game. So no matter what you're doing, if you don't find it fun, don't do it. Find something else. Find something else to do, because if you don't find it fun, then you're not going to want to do it and you're going to give up very shortly. And if you can, try and do those farms in a group. So you're out with someone. It's all well and good just sitting down and saying, you know what, I'm going to put some music on a farm. That might work, but it can always be more fun in a group. So tip number 4, and this links in with tip number 1 and tip number 3. Stick with it. You're going to spend a while where you don't appear to be making very much money. You've hit that wall and you're not getting much money in the mailbox from the auction house, and you've got to go back out on that tedious farm again. But hey, you want the gold, you've got to work for it. But you've also, like I said, keep it fun. And try and keep it in a group. So, as to be expected, the mount still eludes me. But that's not important. I want to get on to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is quite simple. Use some add-ons to help you. Okay, there's lots of add-ons out there that you can use. There's a certain few that I use. I'll go through the ones that I use shortly. But add-ons will make your life easier. It'll stop you having to one-click everything in the auction house. It'll save you a lot of time there. It'll save you with the disenchanting. It can save time with professions, as in crafting. It can also help you work out what things cost and how much it's worth, and what's worth what, how much things are worth. Are they worth selling on the auction house? Are they worth disenchanting or vendoring, if that's you are so inclined? So the first add-on, it's quite important add-on, is TSM, or Trade Skill Buster. Now, this is a very, very complex add-on, one which I have not yet fully set up myself. And I'm not going to get too much into the features of this because this is an add-on that still eludes me in its complexity, shall we say. However, I will go through what it can do. Okay, so you can start off from the right. You can do destroying. That means disenchanting or getting out your bags. This is what I use on one of my ults to destroy all the items I send to him to have it disenchanted into mats to put on the auction house. It makes it a lot quicker. You just click a button, done. Click a button, done. You don't have to click in your disenchanting into the bag, work out which one it is, click that one. Just click the next button, job done. Crafting. Now you can go for anything from crafting professions to what materials you have and to what's on cooldown. It'll go through all of those, and it's just one click, job done. And it'll also tell you how much each of those things are worth on the auction house, so you know if that's worth crafting itself. Accounting. It will account for everything you have, everything you buy, everything you vendor, everything you sell on the auction house, everything you disenchant, all the mats you get, and it'll tally it up and tell you whether you're up, whether you're down, what your other accounts are like. So this is all my sales over the past 30 days, give or take. So only really 3 days worth because I had to reinstall the add-on. Other incomes, I got 1,000 gold given to one of my characters because I sent it across, and anything I've resold. So I bought and resold as well. I just wanted to test it out, see how it went. So I resold 61 volatile airs, made myself 5 gold per one, which is a 238% profit. I also resold one Fade Leaf, which I accidentally bought like an idiot, and made 53 silver on that, which is a 4,000% profit. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. So what you do, you have to set all your items into groups, set operations for those, so what you want to automatically happen, and that will happen. On top of all that, guys, instead of using postal, I use the TSM for mail as well. You still get the normal mails like this, normal Blizzard mails, but you also get the TSM one. So now TSM itself, you hover over there, it moves around, you can tell what it is with the information, but you have different options. As you can see, I've got expired items from the auction house, and I've got sales. So if I want to open only the expired stuff rather than click on each one, I just hit expired. Same with sales, same with if I buy something or if I cancel something. So it works pretty much just like this. I'm going to open the sales, it toggles for each one, you get the nice little jingle sound as you make some gold. The next add-on that I want to go into, and this is one that goes with TSM itself, you saw it working a bit when I was in Tempest Keep, is Loot Appraiser. Now Loot Appraiser, what it does is it's a simple add-on. It takes all the pricing from TSM, so you need TSM and the desktop app you get with TSM, both free of charge by the way, and it will take everything you loot and it'll tell you how much it's worth. So like see legendaries, worthless. Mark of Illidari, 20 silver. Nether Vortex, 2 gold, such. There we go. Design, Solid Star of Elune, 714 gold. Now what will happen is once it goes above the price that you set, so for me, if you look down here, it's 100 gold. What will happen is you'll get a ding sound, which sounds like the auction house ding, and it will flash up approximately here on your screen, and it'll tell you what item you've got and how much it's worth. I'll show you that in the video. We'll flash back to that quickly and have a look at that, and you'll also see that everything you loot comes up here. Now you get a little bit more information. Time in Tempest Keep is how long you've been there farming. Obviously it's still going because I haven't stopped it. Looted item value, so I made 948 gold in items looted from that one run through Tempest Keep. How much currency I looted, so it's how much physical gold I picked up off the mobs, which wasn't very much, so they didn't kill very much. How many items I looted, and how many of those were noteworthy, so above that target price you set for yourself. Along with Loot Appraiser comes another add-on as well, Loot Appraiser Challenge. Now you need to install this separately, but what this does is it allows you to challenge your friends on Battle.net, if they have the add-ons, to have a loot race, so to speak. So say for example you want to farm in Diamond solo instance, you challenge your friends and say, look, I'm going to farm Diamond, you farm where you want, and we'll go for an hour and we'll see how much we get. And you basically go do your farm in that hour, and they tally up through all the loot appraisers through Battle.net how much each number's got, and it will give you an on-screen display which will show you who's winning, how much gold they've got, and how much gold the whole group itself has farmed. And it's just a fun way of farming, because it means there's a challenge to it, there's a competition. You can go show your friends, you get bragging rights over your Battle.net friends as to who's the better farmer. And I mean, I do that quite a lot on stream, and I know other streamers from the Gold Farmer Network do that as well. Loot Appraiser, make farming sexy. That's the motto of the Loot Appraiser, and it's made by Profits TV as well. He's a good streamer. I'm also a member of his Gold Farmer Network, which is basically a small group of gold farmers who farm on stream to give you guys tips and hints as well, which is why I'm trying to give you tips and hints about the obvious. Sometimes you overlook the obvious. Anyway, moving back to the subject. The fourth add-on. Now, this is one I use intensively because it helps a lot. It's Auctionator. Now, it comes with 3 little tabs on the auction house. A buy tab, it's pretty self-explanatory. You type in what it is you want. You search for it, and it brings up a list of all the stuff that's there. So what could we search for? Let's find out. I don't know. Let's go for a ruby droplet. Okay, brings up the buyout prices. Now only the buyout prices, because it doesn't really give you the option to bid. If you're going to buy something at the auction house, you may as well just buy it straight out. Okay, and you click on the one you want. It'll bring up if it's got different levels, so level 1, level 25 for a pet, for example, it'll bring up all the level 1s. You click on that, click buy, job done, you've bought the item. Or you can set up shopping lists. Now I've set up a small shopping list for volatiles. Drop down menu for volatiles, hit search, and my mistake, hit search down here, and it'll bring up all the volatiles. Now I'm not going to let it go through because there's a lot of volatiles to go through, and it'll take a long time to do that. Next, you're going to sell. Now, I want to sell something. Let's see. Let's sell this design solid star balloon that I just got from Tempest Keep. Now, drag it across here, and it brings up a list of all the stuff that's there. Now, we know from Loot Appraiser that it's worth around 800 gold. Now, people are selling it on my realm for 59 gold, and this is very important. This is a point that needs to be raised, because what happens is you'll get something that's worth 800 gold. And you're going to put it on the auction house and think, yeah, I've made 800 gold, and then you realise that on your realm it's a lot cheaper. Why is it a lot cheaper? Well, it's one of 2 reasons. One, there's a lot on the auction house, a lot of people are farming it. Or 2, you get people that go from 1,250 gold with an undercut all the way down to 350 gold. And it just strikes someone that doesn't really know how to play an economy. So, play smart on the auction house and you can make a bit more gold with it. I'm not going to sell this yet, I'm going to put this in a bank and keep that for a later date. There are other things you can sell. Mats always sell, they make fairly good short-term profits as well. So as you can see, different stacks. This guy is selling for 1 gold 90, 1 stack of 7. He's selling for 1 gold 92, 1 stack of 199. And then when I put mine up there, I can either go for 1 stack of 9 or 9 stacks of 1. You can split the stacks up. If I want to put 3 down there, it'll tell me I can have a max of 3 stacks, so I can put 3. Prices change automatically. Hit create auction. Up they go, job done. That's pretty much the most important features of Auctionator. Now there is some more, and I'm pretty sure if you search for it you'll find a tutorial on how to use that add-on. I may actually make one myself. Apart from that, guys, let's just go over the last 5 tips I gave you, and I'm pretty sure there's some more tips that I can give you, or maybe even something you picked up on the way whilst I was doing this. So tip number 1, vary your farms. Make sure that you can go for mount farm one day, pet farm another, mat farm another. You know, just vary it. Keep yourself in those. Keep your toes dipped into those varying markets. Make sure you're not farming for the same thing. It doesn't get monotonous and boring. Tip number 2: never vendor greens. Disenchant them. Sell the mats. You're gonna make more from selling the mats than you are from vendoring the greens. 9 times out of 10. Number 3: do things you find fun and do it in a group. Where possible, do it in a group. It's always going to be more fun if you're doing things with friends. Common sense? Maybe, maybe not. Number 4, stick with it. Stick with it. You're not going to make gold quick. You're not going to get in there, find that one item, those glorious leg plates, and make 125 gold. Day 1 of gold farming. Or you might. You might. You could be that lucky guy. And number 5, use add-ons. Add-ons will reduce the time it takes you to auction, will increase the time you have to farm, and it will let you target areas so you can farm a lot better. So guys, there's my 5 quick tips. Keep with it, and I hope to see you all again soon. Before I go though, guys, as well, I would like to take a look down the bottom of my screen. I will point it out with my mouse pointer where possible. It's not going to go there. But look, I'm part of a group called the Gold Farmer Network. We're a small group of streamers, bloggers, YouTubers who are looking to make a bit of gold and enjoy our time and help other people make gold at the same time. Guys, I will add a link to everyone on the TGFN Gold Farmers in the description of this video, and I'd like you to take a look at those YouTube videos they have, their Twitch streams as well. They're here for you guys, they're here to have some fun, they're here to make some gold, and they would rather do it with you guys joining in with them as well. So guys, have yourself a great night, look forward to Legion, it's coming very soon, and I hope to see you again soon. Good night.